Welcome everyone to the first and let's hope one of the many RPA meetups in this region in Slovenia and the surroundings. So basically, we are going to have a couple of presentations today. One of them is going to be done by Slavko, who is going to talk about the newest Gartner analysis about what is expected in 2021. Basically, as you'll see, RPA has made it in the top priorities of many chief financial officers in this survey, which is maybe surprising, maybe not. We'll see what the survey says. And then after that, we're gonna have Marko Gudelj talk about the RPA overview and one case study. So, all right, let me just admit them to come and join us. Hi, Slavko.
Hey, hello.
Hi, welcome. All right. So I was just discussing and saying basically that we are gonna continue with this by your presentation and then the presentation of Marko Gudelj. And then after these topics of today, everybody is invited to a discussion that we're gonna have. It's going to be basically ask me anything / Q&A session with everyone. So we really want to know your experience and what, let's say, what you think about the RPA in this current situation and also, let's say, in the near future. So Slavko, if you're ready, I'm going to allow you here to show your presentation. There you go.
Okay, just let me find the right screen. So
yeah, sure.
Probably this one. Yeah.
Yeah, we see it.
Are we here on the same page? Yeah. Okay. So I will be very short. So maybe just short introduction of CRMT. CRMT is from 2005 on the market, starting with data management solutions, meaning data warehousing, business intelligence, data integration, with technologies from 20 years ago and from the recent one. Then we add corporate performance management, because there are two things that are quite related with each other, meaning planning, budgeting, consolidation, and so on. So financial office, regulatory reporting in 2011, because there was a financial crisis and there was money left in this regulatory reporting. But and the last year, we started with robotic process automation, which we found that is one of the areas that enable companies to be more productive, more efficient, with less cost, and happier customers at the end of the day. Reason for that, we will see it in the next few slides. Even Gartner found that in the latest. Okay, maybe just some of our important references, and then the technology which we are using in our projects. So these are technologies that we are representing also, but we are also working with all other big commercial solutions like IBM, Oracle, Microsoft, SAP, and so on. But these are the best of big products that we are bringing on the market. Regarding RPA, which is one of these latest areas of our company, Gartner said, so Gartner made a survey last month in October, 2 months ago actually, and they interviewed mainly CFOs. So because CFOs are now under really great pressure how to manage their finance, so basically how to decrease the cost and how to increase the revenue, and everybody's now struggling about that. Everybody's some kind of having fears what will bring the future. We all see that this second and third wave are approaching. Vaccines are already on the door, but it will still last half a year that everybody will be vaccinated, and maybe we will get back to at least a more normal. So what are the hot topics of the CFOs? There are 3 main areas I would like to expose here. One is analytics, So basically, they need to know really precise what the business is doing, how they are doing, and where they are going. So, and not just for the past. So basically, not just reporting, but also advanced analytics, the forecast. So what will happen if something will happen or something will not happen. So basically, to predict what they can expect in the future. Then the second one. So basically, the second one is related with RPA, which is today's topic. So even CFOs found out that this is really one of the important topics. And okay, digital skills digital skills are also bringing a lot of those mess that we will see later on in the company. So if you are digitalize manual processes, then you just have much more digital data, but you need to know that how to relate this data, how to integrate those data, even the applications. So if you digitize the manual process, there are then several different applications that usually cannot find one huge big application that can cover everything that you have in company, but you need to implement several different applications, and you again get some kind of mess in the company. So this is one of our projects, latest projects. One of the companies that have several hundred different applications related together, and there are plenty, let's say, of different integrations between them. So currently, estimation is that medium to big size companies have around 900 applications that are 15 main applications and let's say some kind of 50 subsystems, and between those there are around 1,400 different integrations. People are switching between those applications. Let's say we can say, okay, some mail came in the company, then you need to scan some documents, then put it in the document management system. Then you need to go to the core application, find some data there, or maybe also for analytical system, and then make a decision, and then react and send back the decision to your customer. Consequences are, as we said, fragmentations, duplication entry, typos, delays, productivity suffers, and customers are usually not as satisfied as they should be. So how can we approach and how can we solve those stuff? Is we can do that on the data level, so basically on the database level, on application level, or on user interfaces. And one of those solutions where we are integrate on the user interface level, and maybe a little bit more deeper, is robotic process automation. Robotic process automation is the topic of today. So basically, we can put it on the top of everything practically here. More about RPA will cover our guest today. So from the robotiq.ai. This is a young company, practically startup. They have a lot of experience from different implementations of RPA of other solutions, so basically other software companies, but they found out that there are so big gaps between requirements and then functionality of those tools that requires also complete new approach how to build RPA. And I will call them as a disruptive and then really bright future company. So I will now let Marko to take over the screen and start his presentation.
Okay. Just a second to share the screen. Can you see my screen right now?
Yeah, we can see. I can confirm it. It's good.
Okay.
Hello. There's a beautiful first page.
Yeah. So hello from my side. I'm Marko, and as Slavko mentioned, I'm representing Robotic.ai company from Croatia. So we are in the area of robotic process automation, and my today's goal is not to present the technology, not speaking about technology, our technology. So it's rather to take a look on the RPA overview at the beginning and some how the market in this area looks like, and we can cover one use case done here in the region. So that is also the goal for this presentation. Of course, after that Q&A question, you can ask whatever you want. So first of all, at the beginning, I'm really not sure how you are familiar with the RPA as a technology, as a word. So first of all, I always try to point out that robotic process automation doesn't have anything with physical robots, because at the beginning some customers always thinks about the hardware and physical things. It's RPA is a configurable software that sits on top of companies' existing IT environment and executing the processes. So the target processes that the RPA, robotic process automation, are executing are the user tasks. So that means that we are automating user tasks, because robot can replicate whatever user can do on the computer. Robot can replicate that. So in this manner, we are going in the direction of automating the user tasks. And usually when we are thinking about it, it's more administrative processes in the company, usually back office processes. And if we would like to have a good business case, so we are trying to find process candidates which have higher frequency of execution in some period of time. So there is no sense to automate something that's happening twice a year, but we have some processes which are running 50 or 100 times per week or even a day. So those are the good hotspots for these kind of technologies. How it works? So first of all, there is no significant change to the current IT infrastructure. From my point, it's a really good point. So there is no change in existing interfaces, because robots are operating on UI, on user interface, so like a humans. So robots has credentials for applications. The robots has credentials for applications. They are logging in application, executing the processes like a humans. So it's really good. And on the other hand side, there is no need for massive upfront investment, because on one hand side, technology is really cheap from my point of view, and implementation or automation of the process, implement service needed to automate the process are really fast. So we are talking about the weeks per each process, in some range 2 to 4 weeks per process. So it's based on process complexity. So we have something like a range of implementation 2 to 4 weeks for each process. So regarding the RPA market, fastest growing enterprise software according to Gartner last report from 2020. As you can see, there are lots of players in this niche, and there is no dominant player at this stage. So the market share looks that we have 3 big vendors right now. It's UiPath as the biggest one with 14% of market share, and next to that is Automation Anywhere and Blue Prism. And what is interesting in this in this analysis, that we cannot see some big players here with some big players on this chart. Of course, that things are changing, especially this year. So it's open season for acquisition, I would say, and there are some big players right now in place which acquire some vendors here. So we'll talk about that later on. But it's interesting that all of these players are started as a startup, as a small companies. For example, UiPath is a Romanian startup, and RPA as a technology is a young technology, and the market is a really booming market from this point of view. So we have some interesting challenges that technology is going through. So this is the standard hypercycle, Gartner hypercycle. Each technology is going through this different phases. And as you can see right now, the robotic process automation is disillusionment phase right now. So that means that customers which are using robotic process automation are right now are find the spots and candidates, process candidates for this technology, and it will need maybe 1 or 2 years more that this technology comes on the place where it needs to be, and when the customer recognizes the technology and processes that could be automated with this technology. So right now, with so the reason why it was going to the hype and after that going to disillusionment phase, we have few reasons of it, and from our point of view, the first reason is quality depends on the delivery. So it's not only about the technology, so it's about the implementing or service vendor, service partner. So it's really important to have experienced partner to implement this kind of technology. On one hand side, you have really easy to implement technology. It's really easy going projects, but on the other hand side, there are multiple ways to automate the process. And if you have the experienced consultant on site doing the project, so he will choose the right path or the right way to implement it to have less maintenance at the end of the project. So the second one is heavy maintenance, because the robots depend on user interface, and the most vendors are depends on user interface, and you need to have the environment, application environment and processes, and you cannot change it, because if you change something in this environment, even to change resolution on the computer where the robot is operating, that will cause that the robot will crash. So if you have some, let's say, larger deployment scenario like 10 or 15 robots and I don't know 30 or 50 processes executing on these robots, so you will have heavy maintenance at the end of the story. But right now there are new players in this area like robotic technology, and we are not we are also clicking on the user interface with our robots, but we are using computer vision, and we are more robust than we are covering these points that we are talking about. So the third one, we have reduced capacity to innovate and change, because if you set up the robot and processes on your environment and everything, you set it up, so there is small little space to change the things, because if you change the process on one hand side, on other hand side applications or whatever that's need to execute the process, so it will cause that you need also the change process script and everything. So there is you need to have, let's say, the governance also include the RPA or robots and process scripts and applications in the governance process of changing whatever you are changing in your organization. So according to Ernst & Young study, it says 30 to 50% of RPA projects fail or have problems scaling beyond initial deployment. And some of the reasons that these projects fails are these 3 points, but of course there are many others, but those are the main, from our point of view, main reasons of this. You don't need to be scared about this, of course. From my point of view, at the beginning, you need to choose the right technology and the right partner to implement the first processes, and you will be on the safe side for sure. So regarding the players that are on the field, so regards to Gartner Magic Quadrant, the leaders are UiPath, Automation Anywhere, and Blue Prism, as we mentioned before. Also here, this is the report from June 2020, and here you can see some bigger players are coming in, like Samsung, like SAP, like Microsoft, and this is because of acquisition that was done in last this year and last year. So as I mentioned before, it's from our point of view open season for RPA acquisition, and it's trend that these smaller RPA vendors are being acquired by different categories of large players on the market. So you have three categories, like big enterprises like Microsoft and SAP. So the first acquisition was done by SAP when it acquires Contextor technology. So it was even in 2018, and this year Microsoft acquired Softomotive, and Softomotive was really good technology, the Greek one, the Greek company. It was on the field for 4 years or something like that, and Microsoft acquired them. So the things are changing right now in the Softomotive area, and the technology and everything. But yeah, we see that it's going in the Microsoft direction, more on the user side, less on the enterprise things, and yeah. But we will see the next year will be interesting also for the Softomotive technology. On the other hand side, we have the service provider like IBM. IBM acquired VDG. So VDG was the technology from Latin America, and it wasn't with small traction, but IBM recognized VDG as an interesting partner because of the technology, and they acquired them. Also, we have the other larger automation vendors like Appian, Blue Prism, and Highline, which are also interesting in this area, and they're also acquiring technologies, RPA technologies. So from our point of view, or from our point of view, we think that next 2-3 years will be really interesting in this area, and that these big ones are really looking what is happening on the field, and they're targeting the companies, and it will the picture will be completely different in next few years from our point of view, because the technology are really interesting and really easygoing projects, and these big guys needs to be there to share this cake. There is also the new buzzword in this area, so it's hyper automation. So hyper automation. So right now the robots doesn't have some strong cognitive capabilities. So the RPA are right now, let's say, the script based and running the rule based processes, and with this hyper automation thing, we are trying, or the buzzword is all about that to bring new smart things to robotic process automation. And hyper automation is just connecting different available technologies on the market with the robotic process automation, like different AI skills, like computer vision that we are using, our technology, or OCR, or machine learning, or process mining, advanced analytics, and different stuffs. So from our point of view, the future of RPA will be also connected to this smart things, smart technologies going in this direction, and we see robots much more clever, much more smarter, let's say, in the next phases, in the next years that are coming. So regarding how to start with the robotic process automation, so it's really easy to start, easygoing project. Those are really easygoing projects, but from our point of view, you need to be careful about choosing first processes, especially first processes for let's say like pilot phase of robotic process automation in your company. So first of all, we will suggest to go with the straightforward processes. So that means to take standardized, stable, and consistent processes which are rule-based and process-driven. So don't play with unstructured data, with processes that are changing each over some period of time or something like that. So try to keep it simple as possible, and after that, and scale after that. So it's really important that you have the first experience easygoing experience, because RPA is on the other hand side, it's not a project, it's a whole journey that you need to go. So from our point of view, it's really important how you start with this. So start with the with the back office processes, because these back office processes are processed with low risk. So if you are playing with the front, you need to be careful with these kind of processes. So our suggestion is start with the back office, and you will have time to change something if something happens. So this is those are the processes with definitely low risk, and try to measure the benefits. So the robots are operating 24 hours, 7 days a week. And as I mentioned before, try to find high volume processes that are time consuming, that are using human time as much as possible, FTs, so you will have the better case at the end. For sure, these kind of processes will set the stage for the success. You will have executive support after first processes, because it's really interesting. It's from our experience, what we can see when we implement the first processes, it immediately became the project which is supported by executives, because it's really interesting. In the really short period of time, we can automate something. Everybody is going in the direction of digital transformation, automating, innovating the things in companies, and these kind of projects are going in that direction. And so they are really fast, and absolutely will have executive support after the first process is implemented. And also it develops organization excitement, because organizations are keen about the innovative things, automating the things. So it's really interesting for one organization, and it funds future development for sure, because when people see that something is happening, that robots are operating, it's executing the processes, they're coming with their ideas, they're coming with their candidates, and this is going in this direction, that people or employees from different departments are at the end involved and trying to help to automate as much as possible across the organization. Okay, I'm going to share some use case with you. I will also share a video of robot in action. We have different implementations here in region, and not only in region, and even over the globe. Our robots are running in right now on 3 continents, in US, in Africa, in Europe. We have different customers, and most of our customers are from financial industries like banks, insurance, telcos, and manufacturing. Let's say this is the main industry that we are operating, but of course that we have also others. One of interesting customer that we have is UniCredit Serbia. There we have 42 processes that run on 10 robots right now. So it was 1 year project, or even more, one and a half year for now. So it's really let's say from our point of view, it's the one of bigger implementation here in region, and but we start with them with really with I think with 3 processes, and it was like a pilot phase with them, like as I mentioned before, that is also can be the way to start. We start with the 3 processes, and after we implement these 3 processes, also they were really satisfied with the project. So they do the different things, like they do internal marketing, like what you can see on this screen. So their C-level, we have their C-level support on this event. So they're speaking about the technology, about the robots, because some of people or some of the employees were scared about what robots can bring to organization. Will robot change the way they are operating? So will the robot took over the processes that they are executing, etc. So on this event, we address also all these questions and answer these questions with C-level support of the UniCredit Bank. And it was really funny event, and it's so there was a few interesting things, like they call the robot Roberto because they are Italian bank. So it was the funny thing for the employees. So they had this this physical installation of Roberto, and here was the box that the employees could add their process candidates. And after month and a half after this event, we get 42 candidates from employees of the bank, and 15 or 16 of them are in production right now. So it's from our point of view, it's really you need to speak with people. You need to tell them to do this project transparent as possible, and to involve also the other the different departments in this project, and to allow them to bring their ideas, their candidates, etc. So maybe I can share with you one video. So if there is some questions, you can ask, or maybe after this video, this is just 2-minute video, and after that we can jump on Q&A session. So this is one of our customers is also OTP Bank Croatia, and we are right now we are implementing the processes. We are in the project with them. So the idea with OTP is till end of the year we just start with this project, and till end of this year we need to the plan is to automate 3 processes, and for the 2021 they have the 21 processes in the pipeline. So we are really happy because of this project, and we think that we can really help a lot to this organization. We done one POC with them during this summer, and this is a video of this POC project. This is the solvency report of executing the solvency report. So I will go and show you how the process is executing and how the robot's executing the process. But first of all, to explain the process. The process is the generating the solvency report, and how it's going in, how it's executing within the bank. So the business user sends to robot email Word document with the customer information that requests the solvency report. So robot reads the email and extract data from this document. After that, robot's going into their core system, and through the core system, it's starting the service and sending the message to Croatian financial agency FINA. So it's FINA, some government institution, and the FINA needs to answer with their information, like how many days the client was in blocked or these kind of things. And after getting this report, so the robot is going in, also staying in their core system, and getting the information from their system about the account balance and different things. So the robot after that is combining these 2 reports in one report, and sending back report to this business user that requests the solvency report for the customer. So so you will see right now we will start the process. So this is the document that the business user needs to fill out and send to robot's email address. And after that, right now we start the process. We start the robot. Robot has his own email account. He's logging there, getting the document, reading the document. Right now it's going in their core IT system and executing the transaction. So right now it sends the message to this FINA, finance agency, the message. When after some time FINA returns the message, and robots checks it and extract the data from this report. We'll save it on some location on the desktop machine. After this step, robot will retrieve additional financial information about the account within the bank. So it will save also this report. So right now it has 2 reports, one from FINA, one from internal, one from this core system, and it will combine these 2 reports in one report, and will open his Outlook account and send it back to to business user who request this this report. And the last step, it will go back to the banking core system and will charge the customer for generating this report. So it's the customer needs to be charged for this. So right now it's going to this customer and charging for this service. Okay. Okay, this is let's say one example of how the robot can help to execute, optimize, to improve the processes in within the organization, and on the other hand side to increase the customer experience of working with the organization. Okay, right now I will leave the time for the Q&A session. So you are, if you have something, just ask.
Marko, so I believe this is like you wrapped up your part of the presentation, right?
Yes, yes.
Because this was beautiful. I mean, I have to say that this was a lot of great information from your side. Also, I want to thank to Slavko for his presentation about the, let's say, general overview that Gartner had about the RPA technology in the year 2021. But as this is, let's say, as you already suggested, this is a meetup. I think it's time that we hear some of the stories or experiences that our guests have, that our attendees have today with us. So I will just start sharing my screen really fast so that we can focus on what is to come. I hope that everybody sees this. Right. So do you see this screen? Can you confirm it?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yes.
great. So yeah, basically, Marko, you are still here, and we were just speaking about some very exciting things, such as, let's say, where you see the RPA technology in the next 2 to 3 years. Also, I think everybody's happy to have the opportunity to meet Roberto. I didn't know that they could actually give names to the robots, so this was new information for me. Speaking of which, is it a possibility that you also name your software robots in the company? You just said that in Serbia, in Unicredit, I believe it was, they have 10 robots. Do they each have different names? Or
No. Actually,
No.
they don't have a different name. It's just one unique name for all the.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. It
all
was
of
just the
them.
physical one. I see. So to everybody else, to our attendees, let's see. Let us help you, for example, with some of the questions that we prepared for you. And if you're not, let's say, if you're too shy to talk today, it's all right. But this is just something that could get you started. We prepared a couple of questions for you. So, for example, how do you came across robotic process automation in the first place? And let's say, how are you involved with the RPA technology today? So maybe I can ask this question to Marko, since you were the last person talking. Maybe you can tell us a bit about how you started in the RPA technology in the first place.
So this is a question for me.
Yeah, sure. I'm just now addressing you, so maybe you can start
okay,
this discussion. But later on,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that somebody else is going to join us. I would love to hear everybody's opinion here, or at least somebody's opinion, also on the
Okay.
other topics.
So, regards to this question, so I'm in the field of the business process management for all my career. So I was working with the ARIS technology, doing the process optimization with the different methodology like Lean, Six Sigma, whatever it is, and process management is, let's say, my first love. And let's say before a few years ago, RPA technology was something that I heard from my colleague. I think he's on the call right now. There's Darko, and we were discussing about the interesting use cases. And we see that this technology really can help, and there are really easy technology to implement and automate the processes. We decide to play a little bit with this kind of technology. At the beginning, we partnered with the UiPath and the Softomotive, and we were delivering the projects based on these two technologies, on the Softomotive and UiPath. The first projects we we delivered was in Germany, in Austria, mostly in the Europe. And after that, we bring this knowledge, and we bring this also technology and this partner agreement here in our region. We start also with the projects in region. After some time, we saw that we have a request from the field, from the customers, which we cannot fully file with these technologies. We have some limitations with technologies, etc. So we were thinking about to develop some smarter add-ons for this technology. But at the end of the day, we decide for the pure development from the beginning, to develop the new platforms from the scratch. So our platform is, let's say, is the result of the consulting experience, and we also see the opportunity to fix some drawbacks in technology. So we use the new modern things to have the robotic technology as modern as possible, as business oriented, the low code technology. So maybe some other way we can speak more about technology. But yeah, this is the first our touch with the RPA.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and maybe if it's easier, maybe I will also ask to people if they can ask also in Slovenian language or Croatian, whatever, so we can discuss.
Exactly. Yeah, you can. Thank you. Yeah, you can feel free. Everybody can feel free to talk, even in Croatian or Slovenian. This is true. This is not a problem. I would really like to hear your experiences about not just the robotic process automation in your company, but let's say just in general. If you knew about this technology before, or maybe you can discuss the technology itself. We also, I believe, have some people who know the technology pretty well here. Or let's say if you are the one responsible for the workflow process in your company and are now implementing a robot, and you are teaching, let's say, this robot how to do this workflow that you are working on. So basically, any point of view about RPA in your company is actually what we would appreciate. You also mentioned that you see, Marko, for example, you mentioned that you see this technology, which was really interesting for me in this disambiguation, I think, or something like that, part right now. So that the level of research right now is not yet done. You are saying that it is going to take a few more years to fully develop RPA in the future. What does this mean for the companies? Let's say. Not just here in Europe, but in general. Are companies going to wait maybe for this technology to fully develop and then implement it, or do you think?
So it's not about the product development, you know. So it's about the expectations that technology can bring in organizations. So at the beginning, when RPA starts, so it's like with each technology is the same. So the beginning when RPA start and come to the market, so the organization means that with this RPA technology we can fix all our problems. So, but that's not the case, you know. And some time is needed that RPA sits on its place, and that organization or the users can recognize the good hotspots, good process candidates for this kind of technology, because at the beginning they're trying to push all their problems, try to fix it with this kind of technologies. Because when you have something in hype, everybody is speaking about, but nobody didn't try it, and they're thinking that they will fix all their problems with this kind of technology, but that's not the case. And after some time, the organization recognized RPA technology as a good technology, really fast to implement, and they find out which are the, let's say, the process candidates that can be automated with this technology.
Okay.
So that is, it's not about the product development.
Okay.
Yeah, Darko here. I wanted to
Hi,
add
Darko.
something. Hi to everyone. So just wanted to share my view on RPA and how does it fit into a larger picture.
Yeah, sure. Welcome.
Yeah, so you see the hyper automation as kind of buzzword appearing, but it's actually what we've been doing as consultants for years now. And the reasoning for that is, when you're a consultant and you're at the client side, you are solving a problem for a client. And the problem is that some process is broken, it's not automated, and you need some technology to automate it. And of course, I was excited about RPA because it provided a really measurable technology, not something that's very hard to sell to management. It's very straightforward, very concrete, and very measurable. And I was excited about that. But the thing is, when you're at the client side, of course, not every tool is the best tool. And of course, we've always, when we were doing projects, we were combining RPA with other things. For example, very often on projects, we combine RPA with some level of BPM tools. We often use, I don't know, SharePoint as a place where users can kind of interact and manage robots. We've used a number of approaches where it's not only RPA, so you're creating a solution for the customer, and RPA is a key pillar there, but it doesn't stand alone. And that's what's being recognized in the industry now. As a whole, they just put a name on it. I'm not especially satisfied with the term name. I think it's a bit misleading. Hyper automation. There's nothing hyper about it, but it's just a buzzword that says we're going to combine RPA with everything we've got in the company to give the solution to the client, and that's how I see RPA. It's a tool to solve the automation problem in a company. And if there's some other technology like AI, BPM, process mining, whatever, APIs, whatever we can use to make the process much more efficient, robust, we will use it. And that's why RPA is also very prone to errors, very prone to project failures, because it depends on let's say, the imagination and then the quality of the consultants that's doing the project. Because in RPA you can do things in 100 different ways. You can just implement the process as is, clicking through the interface, but you can also try to perform some optimizations, reuse some other components. And that's what separates a good RPA project compared to not so good ones. That's just my quick view on the industry and what's going on.
Well, thank you. Still, I mean, this was a great insight. I think that maybe we could take some key takeaways, right? Not just from this discussion that we're having right now, but also from the presentations that we had before. So I guess we could say, and please correct me if you think this is not the case, but I think we could say that RPA has not just a bright future, but also a certain future, because all the analytical houses from Gartner and others are placing the RPA technology among the top, let's say, necessities and hot commodities that companies want right now. But then also we are seeing this not just in, let's say, 2020, but we've seen this also in the past, that companies across industries and over the world are implementing RPA technology at a speedy rate, or a very fast rate. And this industry, if I'm not mistaken, in 2020 alone, according to Gartner, had around 7 billion euros worth, so which is a staggering amount. And by the end of 2021, they are also predicting that there will be an estimated 4 million robots in business environments across the world. So I think this is something that we can all maybe take a minute and think about. But yeah, on the other hand, RPA allows companies to leverage their existing systems, as you guys also said, and the workflows, and take off, which is really important, the workload of their employees, and thus allow them to focus on other and more complex things and tasks that they have. With that said, we had some great presentations today. Marko, I really want to thank you again for your part of the presentations, and also Slavko, to you. Thank you guys. It was really valuable. And for all of the entities, if you want these presentations that you just had today, we will be sending them to you, so you can maybe take some key messages from today's meetup. And as I said in one of our emails, this is hopefully going to be one of many RPA meetups in our region. So you're welcome to join our RPA group on the Meetup website. And also, if you have any questions, please just let us know in either our emails or our info email, or just the ones that you see on the screen right now. So thank you. Thank you, guys. I hope to see you soon, and have a great day.